silhouette project, and we're going to be making a baby card. Now, I've been asked to make a baby card using a onesie in some way, and I thought it would be really nice to make a shaped card using a onesie. Now, originally I was going to make my own shaped card. However, when I was searching through the store, I saw that there was one already done, and it looks really cool. So here we are here, and you can see I've got the boy one and the girl one. What I originally was going to do was take the little onesie off this one here and make it into a fold. But what I like about this one, if I click on it, you'll see, is that what they've done is put little tabs at the top, which means, whereas before what I was going to do was take this, say this onesie here, that shape, and then weld a mirror image to the top of it and fold. What this means is that I'm not restricted to my card just being 6 by 6. So, because obviously if I'm doing it where I have to fold it, the maximum I can do for the back and front together is 12 inches, whereas this one I could do virtually a 12-inch card if I wanted to. So I did want to do quite a big card, so I was looking at sort of A5 size, which is approximately half letter size if you're in the US. Now, actually it tells me here it's 21 centimeters by nearly 30 centimeters, if that helps. So what I want to do first is I want to cut my base card out in like a pale, sort of, because this is going to be for a girl, in like a pale pink colour, and then I'm going to use the pink on the inside, so the inside of the card has a really nice shimmer to it, and then I'm going to cut layers out using pattern paper that I'm going to stick over the top. So really there's not a lot to be done on the silhouette itself. Okay, so I've moved all my elements to make it easier for cutting out. Now these are all my paper elements, and then I've done a separate sheet which is going to be A4, because that's the size of my card. That's going to be my card base, which is a pink pearlescent. So I've done that over there, and that just fits in nicely. So going back to this one, what I want to do though is this piece here is for the inside of the card. Now I want it to be slightly smaller, so that you can still see the lovely pink pearlescence. So what I want to do is use the offset button, and I haven't done this myself before, so let's have a go. It's down here. If you press your home button up here, and then it's just down here, press offset, and we want, I think, the internal offset. So let's click that. Yes, that seems to be correct. You can see there's now another line just come up on the inside, and then it's saying here the offset distance. So let's make that greater and watch it. If you look over here, you can see, oops, just undo, I shouldn't have clicked. You can see how it's moving. So if you just keep watching that, or we could just use the slider, I guess, because I want it quite considerably, not that much, so that we get a nice size of the pink around the edge. So I think that's great. So now I don't want the outside element, so we'll delete that. Okay, so that's my offset piece for the inside of the card. Okay, so let's just save that, and we're ready to cut. If we can see that I've laid out my papers. These are an Anna Griffin papers. I'm not sure what collection they are, I'm afraid, but we've got a lovely flower paper, which is going to be the paper that I'm using as my front. This I'm going to use to put on the inside, just to give it something even more nice on the inside, and I've slightly made it a little bit smaller, so there's like a little border of the pink that will be the card when I've cut that piece. And then I've got this piece, which is all my extra elements as well, so we need to cut this out. Okay, so off it goes, and I put the settings to medium pattern paper, which gave us a blade of cut 3, so hopefully that's correct. Back in a minute when that's finished. So I'm now cutting out the card. This is lovely pink pearlescent, and that's going to be white on the outside because I'm covering the outside, and pink on the inside. So we'll cut that all out. Okay, so we're now going to start putting this card together, and I've put some bits and pieces on the table that I'm going to use. Some lovely lacy trim. I've got some flowers and some little lovely kind of sparkly jewelry bits and pearls. So you can see how pretty those are. They're really, really sparkly, kind of like almost like water drops. And then, as I say, I've got the flowers as well. So let's start putting this card together now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put our card base together. So we've got two pieces that we cut out on the pearl pink paper, and what I'm going to do is, rather than make this the outside of the card, I'm going to make that the inside. So the outside of the card will be white, but obviously I'm covering it up, so that's not an issue. And then what happens is, obviously when you open the card, whoops, you've got a nice inside. So let's just fold these. Now that's the beauty with the silhouette, is that you have got the score lines already done for you. So we're just going to crease that down. And then I want some of this lovely red tape, because I think we want to make sure it's nice and strong. There we go, wasn't too bad at all actually. I just lined it up at the bottom there and that seems to work. So, and I'm just thinking that that needs to be the front so that the tabs are there, because I've got this little piece here which is going to be like a liner, and it would look a bit rubbish if I didn't do that. So while we're there, we may as well put that on. And as you can see now, because of the it's pink on the inside, it just makes a nicer look, I think. So let's just get the ATG. Lovely. Now I've got to put sentiment on there yet, but that's at least that bit down now. Okay, so now we need to put this on the outside. Now I think that it would be a bit risky to use a dry glue with this and be absolutely 100% sure that it fits. So I am going to use my pin flare, but not the gel glue, but I've got their photo glue, which is a thinner one, and it's really good. I like this. And also with this photo glue, it just kind of rolls up into nothing when it gets on the outside. You rub it and it just rubs away into like a little rubber piece. It sort of dries up and floats away, so that's really good. Okay, so just making sure it's absolutely stuck. There we go. It's looking good. Okay, so now we need to put on the flower and the little fluffy bits around the edges. I don't know what you'd call them, like the edgy bits anyway, that go on there. And I'm actually going to use some real lace and stuff, but I thought that would be nice to go underneath first. Again, I'm just going to use this photo glue. And again, I'm kind of using that as a base for the real, because I'm going to put a real one on there actually, but I just find that that's going to be quite a useful kind of background to the real one. Okay, so I've just inked around all the edges just using my little makeup sponge, and I think that is quite effective. Okay, so I'm going to do the sentiment for the inside, and I'm going to have to make that up with a couple of different stamps, so I'm just going to pop that one to one side, and I'm just using the back of this piece of paper here because it's the right sort of creamy colour. So the first bit I need is the blessing part in this stamp here, which is from Paper Tray Ink, and it's called Signature Greetings. And I'm going to have to grab an S from somewhere as well. I'm just having a look what we've got. I've got an S here on the congrats, so that will probably work because we want blessings. Okay, so let's take this. I just need my block. Put that down there. And then the key with this is to make sure we only ink the bit that I want. And if you go on another section, just make sure you wipe it off. Okay, so give it a bit of a huff. And then line this up in the middle here. Remembering I've got to have the S. There we go. Perfect. Taking the S, and I've got to line it on there, so I'm just going to ink up the little S on. This is on the Congrats You Did It, and it's about the right size. And then we're just going to line this up. Which, although it's a see-through stamp, still quite fiddly. There we go. So now we've got blessings. So now we need On Your, which I am getting from this stamp set from Anna Griffin, which has got all sorts, and I'm using the On Your for On Your Birthday. Go. And then the christening part, I'm actually going to use some stickers. Is that done? And I went over the christening as well, so that all really linked together then. Okay, so now I just want to cut the bottom off and round the corners. I'm going to stick that just in there. I can find my ATG. Oh, there it is. I just want to get that little sponge that I had and ink on the edges. There's probably enough on there already, just to there we go. Then we'll place that down. I'm just going to use that to make sure that's rubbed down. There we go, so that's this lovely flower, again Anna Griffin, but it's probably because I've just got a disproportionate amount of Anna Griffin really. But it works really well, I think, for that piece down there. Yeah, I think that's going to look really sweet, and it's just the right colours. And that is from her Elegant Embellishment Set, Fabric Embellishments, and it's, I don't know what collection it is, because it actually doesn't say, but it had like a little cat and the pea pod, etc. on it, so it's very cute. Let's push that down. Yep, that feels nice and secure, so that's good. I think that I would prefer to use these puffy letters. I think it would just look more fun, so we're going to pop those on. Okay, so we've put that on. and I used what I originally wanted to do, which was the capital and then the small letters, so I'm pleased with that. Okay, so what I've got now is I've actually just found one of these little flowers. It's actually part of a trim, and I thought that was really cute. Obviously I'm not going to leave the blue, so I thought what I'd then do is add this little pearl into the centre to hide the blue. So that's that. I'm just waiting for my hot glue gun to heat up, and then I've got this gold pale lemon ribbon, which I am going to then put on all of these pieces that are the little lacy bits on the edge of the baby grow. So we're going to do that, also using the hot glue gun. Now I haven't done a lot with the hot glue gun, so hopefully it's going to work. Okay, so put that into place. Oops. I have to say I'm not hugely impressed with this particular hot glue gun. I don't know if others are better, but I don't think this one's very good. Just it won't stand up or anything, and you have to have that all that out the back to make it stick. I just think that's a bit annoying. I don't mean stick, to make it push down. Now I am just going to take advantage of having this hot glue gun to hand and put a little bit of the glue here to be sure that this sticks in place, and I'm going to pull that off, and I'm going to put a couple on button instead, because I wasn't very happy with the way that was not really covering everything properly. Okay, I think that looks better. Okay, so now I need to start working on, just pushing that down, start working on the trim. And I must remember I want to use this on my button afterwards. Hopefully I'll remember. Okay, so this is just some American Crafts ribbon. It's very nice. I didn't even know it was American Crafts. There you go. So we're going to start on a straight piece, I think, so that I get used to what I'm doing. So start here, and because what I'm wanting to do is kind of wrinkle it up, so I'm thinking I need to put a bit of glue on, stick it down, and then not quite sure which hand's best for me. Then I need to put another bit of glue and then wrinkle it back on itself and stick the next piece down. Possibly not as far as that. That's it, that's better. And then again, let's do a little line. Let's see if we can do a few in a go, because otherwise we're going to be here forever. I think I'm a bit thinking that's just a tiny bit big, so let's just go for a little bit smaller pieces. Now I may have to glue this again, but we'll see. Yeah, no, I need to glue that again. Oh, how annoying. It really does glue to stop fast, doesn't it? Goodness. Okay. I'm now thinking that what I should do is actually pull the top apart and just run this through my sewing machine. Whoops, I wasn't thinking then what I was doing. So that it really holds this down in place.
because I think that will look better than it sort of bumping around all over the shop. And just hold that in place while it sets. I'm getting hot glue all over me. Okay, get my scissors and cut that excess off. Okay, and then just tidy up the excess of the hot glue, and there we've got a ribbon down the edges. Okay, so that is finished now, other than I just want to put my little yellow liquid pearls, 2 little dots just in the button. There we go. Okay, so here's the card all finished up. I hope you've enjoyed making it with me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!
Thank you.